In mid-April 2023, we spent one night at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge in a Disney Vacation Club value room in Jambo House. When we started using our DVC back when we lived up north, we didn't usually go to Walt Disney World during the spring break months of March or April because of 1, the higher points cost for rooms, and 2, the higher crowds you would usually find in the parks. Now that we live only an hour and a half away from Disney World, we figured we would use the spring break months as opportunities to do no park stays, and we picked the resorts with lower points and lots of fun things to do. So far this year, March was Old Key West, and April was Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is a really lush, set in the middle of nature type of resort, and we really love staying here. We have an upcoming stay for this August in a concierge studio that we're really excited about. But for this stay, we were in a more point economical value studio for the very first time. Seeing the pictures and videos of this lobby don't really do it justice. It is absolutely gorgeous in here. While we love all of the walking that Old Key West provides, this lobby was really designed with sitting in mind. There are so many opportunities to just sit and enjoy the view, both inside and on the outdoor landing and porches. And if you don't feel like sitting, just take the elevator up to the 5th floor to that bridge right there, where you can get a bird's eye view of the savannah. As well as a great view of the lobby. We had already done online check-in, so we didn't have to stop at this front desk area, which is just to the left of the open lounge on the 1st floor. Thankfully, our room was already available, and it was located on the 5th floor. So, value rooms are cheaper points because these rooms are hotel rooms that were converted to Disney Vacation Club since Animal Kingdom Lodge was originally a hotel resort only. These rooms are smaller in size, hence their lower point values, and just like the concierge rooms, there aren't very many of them, so they are in high demand. We do own points at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but we didn't book this room 11 months in advance. So far, our Animal Kingdom stays were booked only a few to a couple of months in advance. This value room cost us 12 points in mid-April, and that's the cheapest points DVC room for this time frame. To be honest, I personally can't say that this room felt much smaller than any of the other studios we've had on DVC property, but it's just the two of us, so we're never usually needing additional space. It has all of the usual studio amenities, including the makeup mirror, which I was disappointed to find that Old Key West's updated rooms did not have. Now, this smaller value room is missing the typical closet that DVC rooms usually have, but the extra blanket and room safe are housed in the armoire. The decor is very cute, and the only changes I hope to see in the future are a nightstand for both sides of the bed, and no more carpeting, but that's just me. I think these wall-to-wall rugs get too dirty and smelly. I have to say that when they do redo these rooms, I hope they do as good a job as they did with the Polynesian upgraded hotel rooms. They are truly Hawaiian inspired and gorgeous. Our DVC stay was bumped to a hotel room there last year, and it was a treat to stay in one of the upgraded rooms. We actually bought a piece of the Polynesians memorabilia from an earlier room renovation when we first moved down here after watching another YouTuber's video about the Wildwood Antique Mall in Lakeland, Florida. Our balcony view was really great, and it would have been fun to linger there, but we needed to get our stuff sorted and get ready for our dinner reservation at Boma. We had originally planned on going swimming before dinner, but as usual for us, we were running a little short on time, so we decided to take a walk around the resort instead. The main pool area is very inviting, and we later sat in the lounge chairs just outside of the pool fence while we waited to check in for dinner. The fitness center is on the first floor and next to the pool area. The gift shop is huge and sells a lot of really neat carved wooden animals, plus the usual assortment of toys, t-shirts, pins, mugs, and room sundries. Unfortunately, I didn't take any video of the snacks and drinks section. We meandered to the back of Jambo House to the first floor patio overlooking the savannah. If you look up, you can see the viewing porches from here. The Savannah View rooms are in a semicircle in this courtyard, and while we've never stayed in one, we did visit family members here when they were in a Savannah View studio, and we do think it would be nice to while an afternoon away on your own balcony when the animals are out. But for now, we were making do with 2 viewing areas, and we did see a good number of grazers as they enjoyed their early evening meals. Speaking of meals, we were ready for our dinner too, and we decided that even if we don't have a room reserved, the next time we want to enjoy this view, we'll get a reservation for Boma because it would be worth the hour-and-a-half drive over just to enjoy a walk around the resort followed by a delicious meal. Well, at least we hoped it was going to be delicious. We used to love to eat at Boma, but it's been a few years since we've last eaten here. We've always been early birds when it comes to dining, and thankfully the buffet wasn't too crowded at around 5:30 p.m. when we went to get our first samples of what was available on the buffet. Spoiler alert, that cornbread pudding type stuff in the little ramekin on the right was my favorite, and I seriously would go back just to have that again. Oh, and that first tray of the pork ribs was outstanding, but unfortunately my husband only grabbed 1 rib just to try it. When we went back for more, the next batch was dry, stringy, and overcooked. Hopefully the next time we go, we'll get a good batch. They had some interesting soups, but a couple of them were pretty spicy. And of course, there were the requisite salads. We really enjoyed those little cornbreads in the basket in the back on the left. They're the sweet kind. My husband really enjoyed this bread pudding with copious amounts of sauce, which he said was better than the current Ohanas, but not their previous delectable version that we still dream about. There were plenty of desserts to choose from, including the much-loved zebra domes, which tasted better to me this time around than the previous ones I've had. Our server gave us a great tip that we could enter the buffet at any station to keep the lines down. Being a buffet, there are plenty of choices available here, which is good because there were a few things that I didn't care for, one of which was the mashed potatoes, and that's unusual because I usually love Disney mashed potatoes. We really enjoyed plenty of items from the buffet, and it was a leisurely meal for us because we were there for a solid hour. Our server was great, and not only did he bring us a surprise dessert to celebrate our belatedly celebrated wedding anniversary, but he also sent us off with a to-go refill of the jungle juice. We enjoyed this at breakfast the next morning. After that great meal, we decided to finally take that walk over to Kidani Village, which is the purpose-built Disney Vacation Club resort at Animal Kingdom Lodge. During all of our previous visits to Animal Kingdom Lodge, we had intended to go over to Kidani, but we kept getting thwarted. Well, tonight was the night, and it did not disappoint. It was pretty quiet over there, and we took a brief look at their Savannah View porch, which also had a fun indoor seating area. One of these days we're going to book a room here, and I've always said that if we ever host a family member in a one-bedroom with us, we would book Kidani because they actually have 2 full bathrooms in their one-bedroom suites. As we walked back to Jambo House, we took a quick look at the basketball and tennis courts and noticed that there was some residential construction going on nearby. If you're an Animal Kingdom lover, it would be fun living that close to the theme parks and resorts. Speaking of theme parks, remember how I said that we were intending for this to be a no-park stay? Well, Epcot was open for extended evening hours until 11 p.m. on the night we stayed, so we couldn't help ourselves and hopped on a bus. We got to Epcot just before 9 p.m. and watched most of the fireworks from the start of World Showcase. We only stayed for about an hour, but we did take advantage of the lower crowds at this point to do a walk-on ride on Spaceship Earth before heading back to Animal Kingdom Lodge. I have to say, the Animal Kingdom rooms have the best, most soothing room music of all the Disney hotels, in my opinion. I could listen to this for hours, but this night I didn't because I went right to sleep when we got back to the room. The next morning, I ran down to the Mara quick service restaurant to grab some milk for an in-room bowl of cereal. We were in a hurry to pack up and check out because we were going to try to get a 1 p.m. boarding group for our very first ride on the new TRON Lightcycle Run attraction at Magic Kingdom. I had originally woken up at 7 a.m. this morning to try to get a boarding group at that point, and I actually did. Unfortunately, I got one of the very first boarding groups, and being the non-early birds that we are, we didn't want to have to jump out of bed and rush to get over there, so I canceled that boarding group, and we figured we would try again at 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m., we ended up lucking out and getting boarding group number 91. But they were only boarding groups in the 40s at that point, so we knew we would have a few hours to wait. We got stuck for a little bit on the People Mover, and that gave us some time to contemplate our upcoming adventure. Now, even though we've seen all of the videos about this new Tron ride, we really had no idea what to expect. We heard that it wasn't as intense as Guardians of the Galaxy, which was just way too disorienting for me, and I never plan on riding it again. We were hoping for a mild roller coaster along the lines of Big Thunder Mountain. Our boarding group was finally called, and as fans of the original movie, we wish the theming outside had included more of Flynn's arcade, but we did enjoy the experience of entering the system.
Remain seated on your light cycle at all times. Keep restraints securely fastened.
So what did we think of the ride? Well, it felt very uncomfortable because you have to lay on your chest, and to me it felt intense enough that this is another never again, although my husband said he might go again someday. Thankfully for me, there are enough of the more sedate rides in Disney's parks that keep me entertained. Thank you for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Paradise Today to see our next video about our experience getting our electric vehicle level 2 home charging outlet installed.